Welcome to day 28 of the trial, and perhaps the beginning of the end. Inside the courtroom today, a major shift in tone. For weeks, we've heard from alleged victims, government witnesses, and experts. But now, both the prosecution and defense are preparing for their final moves. Closing arguments are expected Thursday. Each side gets up to 4 hours. The jury will likely get the case on Friday, but when a verdict comes, remains uncertain. It's been a long, complicated trial, and now with the defense hinting they may not call a single witness, not even Diddy himself, questions swirl. Do they believe the prosecution's case is weak? Or is this a strategy to avoid adding more fuel to a fire that's already burning hot? The day started with scheduling updates, courtroom logistics, but it quickly turned back to substance, and the prosecution wasted no time. They brought back their summary witness from Homeland Security Investigations, a specialist in assembling digital evidence, financial records, and travel logs into a coherent timeline. What the jury saw today was a tapestry of logistics: flights, hotels, wire transfers, text messages, all pointing back to one name: Sean Combs. There were flights booked for women to travel across the country, hotels reserved under aliases, payments funneled through assistants and shell accounts, messages referencing cash handoffs, IV drips after long nights, and the presence of Plan B in hotel nightstands. And over it all, Diddy's voice, in audio messages, casually giving instructions. Playful, almost amused, but damning. In one voice note, he asks his assistant to make sure homegirl shows up in Vegas. In another, he laughs as he complains there's no more baby oil. And then more serious requests. I need $5,000. I sent you $15K, baby girl. I need him flown from Atlanta. The implication is clear. Diddy wasn't just attending these so-called hotel nights, he was organizing them, funding them, directing them. The prosecution's goal? To prove this wasn't just a lifestyle, it was a system, a network, a criminal enterprise. That's why they showed charts with names, dates, dollar amounts. That's why they showed messages from assistants confirming private entrances at the Trump Hotel. That's why they played audio messages, even if most were heard only through headphones by the jury, to tie Diddy directly to the coordination of sex workers and alleged victims. One of the most explosive segments today came from Diddy's interactions with a luxury escort service, Cowboys for Angels. He texts a rep named Bridget, "Stop raising my rates, I'm a longtime customer." Later, he complains that one performer couldn't even perform, questioning why he should pay the full amount. Bridget replies, "You're paying for their time." Diddy fires back, "Talk to me nice." The subtext? He's not paying for time, he's paying for sex, which directly undercuts the defense's earlier claim that these were legitimate arrangements, transactional but legal. Meanwhile, more explicit evidence was presented, only to the jury. Sex tapes. Silent, graphic, unavailable to the public. But according to testimony, they depicted scenes that allegedly corroborate Jane Doe's account of coercion, exhaustion, and control. Videos from November 2021, December, February 2022, Valentine's Day, spring, summer, even into 2023 and 2024, just months before Diddy's legal troubles erupted into full view. And still, there's more. Messages between Diddy and Jane, some tender, some transactional, others conflicted. She writes, "I don't want to be and mistreated. I need a break. It's loveless. You want me to perform while you fly off with Gina or Young?" The government says these messages show a woman at her breaking point, long before Cassie filed her own lawsuit. That this wasn't about clout chasing or revenge. It was about pain, resentment, exhaustion. But the defense paints a different picture. They highlight Jane's other texts, messages filled with kiss emojis, winks, playfulness, texts where she asks for outfits, makes flirty jokes, sends drooling emojis to performers. They argue this wasn't coercion, this was agency. And that's the crux of this case. Is Sean Combs a predator who used his wealth and power to orchestrate sexual exploitation, supported by assistants, bodyguards, and travel agents? Or is he a powerful man whose private life, while extreme, was consensual? The defense is already laying groundwork to argue the prosecution has cherry-picked evidence. They point to gaps in the summary charts. They argue emojis were stripped out of messages, removing context. They question whether every hotel stay was criminal or simply personal. Still, the sheer volume of evidence is overwhelming. Financial records, audio, flight logs, hotel receipts, Venmo transfers, voice notes, sex tapes, and through it all, the prosecution has one narrative. Diddy was the architect. He built the system. He funded it. He benefited from it. As the day ended, the defense began its cross-examination of the summary witness, pushing back, challenging interpretations, and trying to reframe what the jury has seen. And now, we wait. Will Diddy take the stand? Probably not. Will the defense call any witnesses at all? Unclear. But one thing is certain. This trial is reaching its final act. And when the jury finally receives the case, they won't be making a decision about one night, one woman, or one voice note. They'll be weighing an entire empire and deciding whether Sean Diddy Combs used it to commit federal crimes. Stay with us.